The sun was setting over the busy market on the alien world of Centra. Lights from hundreds of stalls blinked on, and the air was filled with voices in many strange languages. Aliens with green skin, blue scales, and bright feathers walked past each other, not stopping. Near the edge of the market, where the light was dim and the air smelled old, a small creature lay in the shadows. It was hurt, its fur and scales dirty and tangled. It made a soft sound, a weak cry, but no one stopped to help Dot, Molly, and Luke walk with their parents, Ben and Lisa. They were visiting from Earth and wanted to see the market before leaving. Molly was younger than Luke, but she liked to explore. As they walked, she heard a soft noise coming from an alley. She stopped and listened. There it was again, a tiny, sad sound. "Did you hear that?" Molly asked Dot. Luke shook his head, busy looking at a robot selling fruit. But Molly felt sure she heard something, so she left the main path and walked toward the sound. The alley was narrow and a little dark. At first, Molly did not see anything, but then she saw a shape moving in the corner. "Hello?" she said softly. "Are you okay?" The creature did not answer. It was small and thin, with big eyes that glowed a little in the dark. It had patches of brown fur and shiny green scales. Its ears were long, and its body shook from the cold. Molly felt sorry for it right away. She knelt down and tried to get closer. The creature looked afraid, but it did not try to run away. Luke came after her. "Mom says not to leave the path," he whispered. "But look," Molly said, pointing. "There's something here." "It's hurt." Luke looked at the little creature and frowned. "Maybe it's dangerous. We should go." Molly shook her head. "It's not dangerous. It's scared. Look at its eyes." Luke sighed, but he could see his sister was not going to leave. "Okay, let's get Mom and Dad." They went back to the main street and found their parents. Molly explained what she had found. Ben and Lisa followed them to the alley. Ben was tall and had gentle eyes. Lisa was kind and always wanted to help anyone who needed it. When they saw the creature, Lisa knelt next to Molly. "Oh, you poor thing," she said softly. The creature looked at Lisa with hope in its eyes. Ben looked around. "Is this anyone's pet?" he asked, but no one answered. Some aliens looked at the family and shook their heads. One old alien merchant said, "Don't touch that thing. It brings bad luck." Lisa ignored him. She took a small snack from her bag and offered it to the creature. It sniffed the food, then ate it quickly. Molly smiled. "See? It's just hungry." "We can't just leave it," Molly said. "No one else will help." Ben nodded. "Okay, we'll help it, but we have to be careful." Some shopkeepers stared as Ben gently lifted the creature. "You're making a mistake," one of them said. "Those creatures are trouble." Ben only nodded and followed his family. As they walked, the creature curled up in Ben's arms and closed its eyes. Too tired to be afraid, they reached their small ship on the edge of the spaceport. Inside, it was warm and quiet. Lisa made a bed out of old towels and put the creature down. Molly sat next to it, watching. "We should give it a name," she said. Luke thought for a moment. "How about Pip?" Molly grinned. "Pip, that's perfect." Lisa cleaned Pip's wounds with gentle hands. Pip whimpered, but did not try to bite or run. Lisa used a little medicine from her kit and wrapped Pip in a soft towel. Ben checked their supplies for any food Pip could eat. Molly and Luke sat nearby, talking quietly about what kind of animal Pip might be. "Do you think Pip can talk?" Molly asked. "Maybe in its own way," Luke said. "But I think it understands us." As the ship grew quiet and the stars outside the window began to shine, Pip finally slept. The family sat together, tired but happy they had helped. They did not know if Pip would survive the night, but Molly was sure that as long as they tried, they were doing the right thing. In the dark, Pip's eyes opened for a moment. He looked at the humans, then closed his eyes again. For the first time, he did not feel afraid. When the sun rose, soft light filled the little ship. Ben was the first to wake up. He went to check on Pip, the strange animal they found the night before. Pip was still sleeping, wrapped up in a towel. Ben watched for a while, making sure Pip was breathing. Pip looked so small and lost, even though the ship was safe and quiet now. Soon, Lisa woke up and went to the kitchen to make breakfast. Molly and Luke were both still sleepy, but as soon as Molly remembered Pip, she ran over to him. Pip opened his eyes and tried to move, but his legs were weak. Molly sat close and smiled. "Good morning, Pip. You're safe now." Lisa brought a small bowl of water and some soft bread. "Let's see if Pip will eat," she said. She placed the food on the floor, and Pip sniffed it. At first, he seemed scared, but Molly spoke softly to him, and after a moment, Pip licked the bread and started to eat. Everyone smiled when they saw him eating. Luke watched carefully. Maybe he likes soft food. "We should get more. I can ask the computer," Ben said. He sat down and searched the ship's database for anything about animals. Like Pip, he tried words like alien pet, fur and scales, and big eyes, but nothing matched exactly. The computer showed pictures of some similar creatures, but none were quite like Pip. Lisa cleaned Pip's wounds again and tried to brush out some of the dirt from his fur. Pip was shaking, but he let her help. His tail twitched when Lisa touched a sore spot, but he didn't make a sound. Molly watched every move, wanting to learn how to help. "Maybe we should take him to a vet," Molly said. Ben agreed. "That's a good idea. We'll try to find a vet in the city." They wrapped Pip in a blanket and carried him out into the bright morning. The market was busy again, and as the family walked, some aliens stopped and stared. A few even pointed and whispered. Lisa stopped at a small clinic with a sign showing different animals. She went inside while Ben and the children waited outside with Pip. After a few minutes, Lisa came back looking worried. "The vet said they don't treat animals like Pip," Lisa told Ben. "He said it's too risky and told us to leave." Molly's face fell. "Why do they hate him?" Luke shrugged. "Maybe they're scared of him." Ben tried a second clinic. This time, an alien nurse looked at Pip and shook her head. "He should not be here. Take him away," she said and closed the door. The family tried 2 more places, but no one would help. Some aliens even told them to get rid of Pip or leave the market. Pip curled up in Ben's arms, shaking from fear and cold. "It's not fair," Molly said quietly. "He needs help." Lisa put her hand on Molly's shoulder. "Sometimes people are afraid of things they don't understand." They walked back toward the ship, feeling sad and a little angry. As they reached the docking bay, an old alien woman called out to them. She had purple skin and wore long blue robes. "You are kind to that little one," she said. Most would not. "Even look at him," Ben nodded. "He was hurt and alone." "We couldn't leave him. Be careful," the old woman said. "Some people think those creatures are cursed. But I remember when they were welcome here long ago." Molly listened closely. "Do you know what Pip is?" The old woman shook her head. "Not for sure. But I know they are gentle if you treat them with care." Lisa thanked her, and they walked back into the ship. Molly sat beside Pip, who was now lying quietly. She stroked his head and hummed a soft tune. Slowly, Pip's eyes closed, and he rested. Ben and Lisa talked in the kitchen. "We should keep trying to help him. We have some medicine and food." "Yes," Lisa said. "We'll do our best." Molly and Luke took turns watching Pip all day. They spoke softly to him and tried to make him feel safe. Pip started to lift his head and look at them with wide, shining eyes. His tail thumped the towel. When Molly fed him, and sometimes he made a small, happy sound, that night the family sat together in the common room. Ben read stories from Earth, and Lisa made warm tea. Pip curled up in Molly's lap, purring quietly. Luke smiled and gently patted Pip's back. The ship felt safe and full of hope. As the stars came out and the city lights faded, Pip finally slept, no longer shaking with fear. The humans watched him, proud that they had given him a second chance. They did not know what would happen next, but they knew they would not abandon Pip, no matter what others said. The next morning, Pip was awake before anyone else. He moved a little more than before. His tail flicked, and he watched the humans as they made breakfast. Molly noticed and smiled. "Pip looks better today," she said quietly. Ben nodded and set out some soft food on a plate. Pip sniffed it and started to eat slowly. Every time Molly spoke, Pip's ears turned toward her voice. Luke watched carefully. "I think Pip likes us. He trusts us now," Molly said. She reached out her hand, and Pip let her touch his head. His fur was softer now, and his scales were not so dull. Lisa watched as Pip leaned against Molly's hand. "He's getting stronger." Every day, Lisa said Ben decided to learn more about Pip. He searched the ship's computer again and used a scanner to check Pip's health. The scanner beeped and showed a new symbol. "Look," Ben said, "the scanner picked up something special. It says Pip has an empathic field. What does that mean?" Luke asked Ben read the computer screen. "It means Pip can feel what we feel. Maybe that's why he was so scared before. He felt everyone's fear and anger." Molly looked at Pip. "But he's not afraid with us." Lisa nodded. "Maybe he knows we want to help." They decided to keep Pip inside for another day. Molly played soft music, and Pip made a small, happy sound. Luke built a little toy from old wires, and Pip batted around with his paw. Ben and Lisa smiled as they watched their children, and the strange pet dog. Later that day, the family went outside to get some fresh air. Pip stayed in Molly's arms, looking around with wide eyes. A few aliens noticed him, but did not come close. One young alien child smiled at Pip, but her mother pulled her away quickly. The family walked near the market and listened to the sounds of busy traders. Ben stopped at a small shop and bought more food for Pip. The shopkeeper stared at Pip and whispered something to another alien. Lisa heard but did not say anything. She only held Pip closer. When they got back to the ship, Ben checked the database again. This time, he found an old story about creatures like Pip. It said they once lived on many worlds, but disappeared because people were afraid of their powers. The story called them empaths. Lisa read aloud. "They can share feelings. When they are happy, others feel happy. But if they are scared, others feel scared too." "Maybe that's why everyone ran away from Pip," Luke said. "They felt his fear and got scared themselves." "But we stayed," Molly said proudly. "We didn't leave him." Pip climbed into Molly's lap and purred. His eyes were bright now. Lisa tried giving him some special medicine. Pip did not fight. Instead, he pressed his nose to Lisa's hand, and she felt a warm feeling inside, like a soft light. Ben looked at his family. "I think Pip is special. Not just because he's rare, but because he helps us feel more kind." That night, Molly had a dream. She saw Pip in a big garden, running with other animals. He was happy and free. When she woke up, Pip was sleeping beside her, and she felt peaceful. Over the next days, Pip got stronger. He started to follow Molly and Luke everywhere they went. He explored the ship, sniffing every corner. Sometimes he jumped on the table and watched the stars through the window. Molly laughed when he made funny faces or chased a shadow. The neighbors at the spaceport noticed Pip was still with the humans. Some whispered that the family was foolish. Others watched with curious eyes. One day, an alien boy came to the door. He wanted to see Pip. Molly let him inside, and Pip sniffed his hand. The boy smiled. "He's soft," he said. "Not scary at all." Lisa offered the boy a cookie and told him about how they found Pip. The boy listened and promised to tell his friends that Pip was safe. Soon, other children wanted to visit. Pip was shy at first, but he let the children pet him and feed him treats. Ben worried a little. "Do you think it's safe for Pip?" Lisa nodded. "As long as we are careful and kind, he will be safe." One afternoon, Pip did something new. Molly was sad because she missed her friends from Earth. Pip jumped into her lap and looked into her eyes. Suddenly, Molly felt warm and calm. The sadness went away, replaced by happiness. Pip made me feel better, she told Luke. He's really magic. Luke smiled. Maybe he's helping us the way we helped him. As the days passed, Pip became a real part of the family. The humans promised to protect him, no matter what. And every night, as Pip curled up between Molly and Luke, he knew he had finally found a home. A few days later, something changed on the spaceport. Rumors started spreading about the human family and their strange pet. Some aliens were curious, but many were not happy. One afternoon, as Molly and Luke played with Pip outside the ship, two alien men stopped and stared. They whispered to each other. Looking angry, Molly felt Pip's fur stand up. Pip pressed closer to her, his eyes wide with fear. Luke noticed the men too. "Maybe we should go inside," he said quietly. Molly nodded and picked up Pip. As they walked back, the men called out, "You should not keep that thing. It's not safe." Lisa came out to see what was happening. The men repeated their warning. "That animal is dangerous. You will bring trouble." Lisa stood in front of her children. "Pip is not dangerous. He is gentle and scared. We are only helping him." More aliens started to gather, drawn by the voices. Some of them began to shout, "Humans should not be allowed to keep a creature like that. Send it away." Pip hid his head in Molly's arms. Ben came out of the ship, his face calm but serious. "Please," he said, "we mean no harm. We only want to help a lost animal." But the crowd grew louder. A security officer arrived. She was tall with silver skin and a shining uniform. She looked at Pip and frowned. "There have been complaints. People are afraid. I have to ask you to hand over the animal." Molly's eyes filled with tears. "Please, he's not bad. He just needs us." Ben shook his head. "We will not give Pip to anyone. He is safe with us." The officer sighed. "If you do not listen, I will have to call more security." At that moment, something happened. One of the angry aliens stepped forward and reached for Pip. Pip felt the fear and panic from everyone around him. Suddenly, a soft light glowed from his fur, and the air felt warm. Everyone in the crowd stopped shouting. Their anger faded away. It was like a soft wave of calm washed over them. The officer looked surprised. "What did it do?" Lisa held Pip close. "He's just scared. He doesn't want to hurt anyone." A small alien girl in the crowd stepped forward. She looked at Pip and smiled. "He made me feel happy," she said. Some people in the crowd began to feel confused and embarrassed. "Maybe we are wrong," one said. "Maybe he is not so bad." Just then, a floating robot with a camera flew closer. It was a galactic news reporter. It recorded everything that was happening and sent it to screens all over the spaceport. Soon, people everywhere saw the human family protecting Pip and Pip's strange, peaceful power. Luke hugged Molly. Pip helped everyone calm down. Molly nodded, tears still on her cheeks. "I think he just wants to be loved." The security officer looked at Ben and Lisa. "I need to report this to the council. You must stay on your ship until they decide what to do." Ben agreed. "We will not go anywhere. We will keep Pip safe." The crowd slowly went away, some still watching, but most now quiet. Molly and Luke went inside with Pip and held him close. That night, the family sat together. Lisa worried about what would happen next. "Maybe the council will make us leave," she said softly. Ben squeezed her hand. "We will not give up. We will fight for Pip." Pip curled up in Molly's lap. He looked tired, but he purred softly. The family tried to be brave, but everyone felt worried. Pip closed his eyes and sent a gentle, warm feeling to the humans, letting them know he trusted them. The next morning, a message came from the Spaceport Council. Ben read it out loud. "We have called a meeting to decide what should be done about Pip. Until then, you must stay on your ship." Lisa sighed. "We must wait." During the day, Pip stayed close to the family. He seemed to know something important was happening. Molly and Luke tried to keep him happy by playing music and telling stories. Pip liked to listen and sometimes made funny noises that made the children laughed out after lunch. A woman named Dr. Carter came to visit. She was a xenobiologist and knew a lot about rare animals. She asked if she could see Pip. Ben led her inside, and Pip sniffed Dr. Carter's hand. He did not seem afraid. He is not like any animal I have seen before, Dr. Carter said, but I think he is very special. He can feel emotions and maybe even change them. This power scares people, but it is not dangerous. Lisa was hopeful. Can you help us explain this? To the council? I will try, Dr. Carter promised. It is time people learn to understand instead of fear. When she left, the family felt a little better. Pip snuggled close to them, and for the first time in a while, the ship felt warm and safe again, even though they did not know what the future would bring. News of Pip and the humans began to spread all across the spaceport and even to other parts of the city. Many people talked about what happened at the ship when Pip's power calmed the angry crowd. Some aliens felt curious and wanted to learn more, while others were still afraid and said it was too risky to keep a creature like Pip. But one thing was clear: everyone was talking about the human family, and their pet Dr. Carter came back the next morning. She brought a small device to scan Pip and asked the family if she could test his abilities. Ben agreed, but stayed close just in case Pip got scared. Dr. Carter spoke gently to Pip and showed him the scanner. Pip was nervous, but let her do her work. When she finished, she smiled. He is very healthy now. His powers are stronger when he feels safe and loved. Lisa thanked Dr. Carter. We just want Pip to be happy. We don't want to lose him. Dr. Carter nodded. I will go to the council meeting today and explain everything. Maybe they will understand now. Meanwhile, Molly and Luke wanted to help. They had an idea. Let's show everyone how kind Pip is, Molly said. Maybe if they see him play and help. People, they won't be scared. Ben and Lisa liked the idea. They sent messages to the families of children who had met Pip before. Soon, a small group of human and alien children came to the ship. Pip was a little shy, but when Molly played soft music, Pip came out and played with the children. He let them pet him and even showed them how he could bat a toy across the room. The children laughed and clapped, and Pip's fur glowed with happiness. One alien girl fell and scraped her knee. She began to cry. Pip walked up and gently touched her hand. Suddenly, the girl stopped crying and smiled. I feel better now, she said. Everyone was surprised. The parents watched from the door, unsure but hopeful. Someone took a picture and sent it to the Galactic News. Soon, the story was everywhere. Human families pet heals sad hearts. The headline said, some people sent messages of support, while others still wrote that Pip should be taken away. During the afternoon, Ben and Lisa went to the council hall, leaving Molly, Luke, and Pip at the ship with a kind neighbor. The council meeting was large and loud. Some members wanted Pip removed from the planet. Others listened to Dr. Carter's words. She explained how Pip's powers worked and how he was not a danger, only misunderstood. She showed her scans and told everyone how the family had saved him. Ben stood up and spoke. We never wanted trouble. We only wanted to help someone in need. PIP is not a threat. He is part of our family now. Lisa spoke too. Please give us a chance to show what kindness can do. The council argued for a long time. At last, they said they needed to see more proof. So Ben invited them to the ship to see Pip with their own eyes. That evening, some council members and reporters came to the ship. Pip was nervous at first, but Molly stayed beside him. When one council member reached out, Pip touched his hand and sent a warm, peaceful feeling. The member smiled and said, I see now. He is gentle. The council said they would make their final decision the next day. Ben, Lisa, Molly, Luke, and Pip all waited, worried but hopeful. They knew they had done their best. As the night grew quiet, Molly whispered to Pip, "No matter what, we will always be your family." Pip purred softly, his fur glowing in the dark. Everyone hoped for a new start, not just for Pip, but for everyone who had learned something new about kindness and love. The next morning, the whole family woke up early. Everyone felt nervous about what the council would decide. Ben made breakfast, but no one was very hungry. Pip sat quietly beside Molly, his fur shining in the morning light. Even Pip seemed to know that something important was about to happen. Suddenly, a message beeped on the ship's computer. Ben opened it and read aloud. "The council has decided to allow Pip to stay with your family under special protection. But you must help teach others about his kind and show how he can live in peace." Molly cheered and hugged Pip. Luke clapped his hands. Lisa smiled, and Ben hugged his whole family. Pip purred and looked happy. Everyone was relieved, and the ship was filled with joy. After the news, some aliens still did not trust Pip, but others started to change their minds. Some parents brought their children to meet Pip. At first, they were careful, but when they saw how gentle Pip was, they smiled and wanted to learn more. Dr. Carter started teaching a class about Pip's species. She invited Ben, Lisa, Molly, Luke, and Pip to help her. The family taught others how to take care of animals like Pip. They showed how patience and kindness help Pip heal. Pip became a little braver each day. He even showed his powers in front of a small group of people. When he sent a warm, happy feeling through the room, everyone clapped and wanted to pet him. Soon, Pip was not the only one. Other alien animals, once left alone or abandoned, began to find homes with humans and some friendly aliens. Molly and Luke helped organize adoption days at the spaceport. More families wanted to care for strange pets, and some even asked for advice from Ben and Lisa. One day, a reporter came to do a story about Pip. He took pictures of Pip playing with children and sitting in Lisa's lap. The story was sent to planets all over the galaxy. "Empath pets bring joy and peace," the headline said. People started to send messages asking how they could help animals like Pip. The council was pleased and said the humans had done a good job. They thanked Ben and Lisa for teaching everyone about kindness and understanding. Even some of the aliens who had once been afraid came to visit Pip and left with smiles on their faces. At night, the family would sit together, Pip curled up beside them. They talked about all the changes that had happened. Molly said, "We made a difference for Pip, and now for others too." Lisa smiled and said, "Kindness is a gift that grows." Pip's powers helped more than just the family. Sometimes, when fights or arguments happened on the spaceport, Pip would walk into the room, and soon everyone felt calm. People began to invite Pip to meetings, hoping for peace and better understanding. The humans were proud of Pip and proud of what they had started. They knew their family was special, not just because they saved Pip, but because they showed others what it means to care for someone in need. As the stars shined over the spaceport each night, the family looked out the window, dreaming about all the other animals they could help in the future. Pip looked at his family and knew he would never be alone again. Life slowly returned to normal, but everything felt different for Ben, Lisa, Molly, Luke, and Pip. They had more visitors than ever before. Sometimes families came just to see Pip, bringing their own pets or hoping to find a friend like him. Molly and Luke helped new pet owners, showing them how to care for their animals and how to make them feel safe and loved. Pip liked meeting other animals. Sometimes he would sit quietly with a shy creature until it felt brave enough to come out. Pip's gentle powers helped even the most nervous pets. Soon, there were fewer lonely animals in the spaceport. Some aliens and humans started calling Pip the Peace Pet. Ben, Lisa, and Dr. Carter were often invited to meetings and classes. They taught people how to be kind to animals and to each other. Sometimes, when there was a problem or an argument, Pip was asked to come. His calm, warm feelings helped everyone work together and listen. One day, the family was asked to travel to another world to talk about Pip. They packed their bags and took Pip on their small ship. Pip looked out the window as stars and planets passed by. He was not scared anymore. Molly sat beside him, holding his paw. They arrived at a big city where humans and aliens lived together. Pip had never seen so many people before. At first, he stayed close to Lisa, but soon he started to explore, sniffing the air and meeting. New friends. The family spoke at a large meeting. Ben told everyone how they found Pip, and Lisa talked about the hard days when no one wanted to help. Molly and Luke shared stories about how Pip made them feel safe and happy. Dr. Carter explained how empathy was a gift, not something to fear. Many people in the crowd had tears in their eyes. Some wanted to adopt animals like Pip. Others promised to help creatures in their own towns and ships. News of Pip's story traveled quickly. New laws were made to protect empath animals. Soon, families on many worlds had their own special pets, and none were ever left alone again. When the family returned home, they found a letter waiting. The council thanked them for teaching everyone the power of kindness. They said the spaceport was now a better place because of Pip and the humans who saved him. Molly and Luke started a small club for children who wanted to help animals. Pip was their mascot, and he always sat in the middle of the group, purring as the children planned ways to care for pets and keep them safe. The club grew bigger each week. Soon, children from other planets wanted to join too. As time passed, Pip grew strong and healthy. He liked to play with toys, nap in the sun, and watch the stars with his family. At night, when everyone was together, Pip would curl up between Molly and Luke. He felt their love and sent warm feelings to them as they drifted to sleep. Sometimes, when visitors asked why they helped Pip, Ben would say, "Sometimes all it takes is one act of kindness to change a life." Lisa would smile and add, "And sometimes it changes many lives." Even after many months, Pip never forgot what it was like to be alone and scared. That was why he was always gentle with lost or frightened creatures. Molly believed Pip could teach anyone how to be brave and kind. One evening, as the stars shone bright, Ben looked at his family and said, "Helping Pip changed us all. Now we know what it means to be a family, not just with each other, but with anyone who needs us." The family sat together, watching the stars, and knew their adventure had started with a simple choice to help someone no one else would. Because of that choice, they had given hope to so many others across the galaxy. Pip purred softly, knowing he was finally home and that he would never be abandoned again.